Welcome back to Environmental Economics for the sixth and final lecture in this series. Today we will be talking about eco-emotions, human nature connections, and leverage points. Primatologist Robert Sapolsky asked, "What makes humans unique?" during a graduation ceremony at Stanford University, and argued that humans have the unique ability to mentally maintain contradictions and even to draw motivation from these contradictions. While his talk offered a compelling appeal to graduates that despite the minimal influence of one's efforts on a global scale, one should still strive to make a difference. This map by Hazen and colleagues from 1977 offers an example where the efforts of a small group of people changed our worldview. This is the first map that showed estimates of ocean depth with the help of soundings, or water depth measurements. The map helped the theory of continental drift and plate tectonics replace the former paradigm of fixists, who believed that sunk land bridges were the most plausible explanation for the fossil connections between continents. Today we will talk a bit more about paradigm shifts later, when we make our way through the list of leverage points formulated by Donella Meadows. We will discuss literature on protected areas where there will be attention to the importance of governance, and I wanted to share an observation that bears resemblance to the green paradox as formulated by Hans Werner Sinn. This lecture will start with the extinction of experience feedback loop, but afterwards the lecture will become increasingly optimistic when we discuss things we can do ourselves to halt biodiversity loss, and I will give some examples of other hopeful initiatives. The pictures from today are from my wife's garden in Mexico. Chapter 6: Peace and Love. Am I a man who dreamt of being a butterfly, or am I a butterfly dreaming that I am a man? By Zhuangzi, who is also famous for the dream paradox, that one cannot be certain that one is not dreaming until one wakens. The song Dreams by Nuages contains a sample with a nice variation of this dream paradox by Alan Watts. Talking about butterflies, a show of hands please, who is already familiar with the story of first evidence for Darwin's theory of evolution? The first evidence for Darwin's theory of evolution was already reported to Darwin during his lifetime, in a letter from Albert Farn. Farn wrote to Darwin how certain species of butterflies differ in color depending on their habitat, and that for this reason it surprised him finding black peppered moths on a white limestone hill. Farn wrote, "For the last quarter of a century the chalk slope on which they occur has been swept by volumes of black smoke from some lime kilns situated at the bottom. The herbage, although growing luxuriantly, is blackened by it. I am told, too, that the very light specimens are now much less common at Lewes than formerly, and that for some few years, lime kilns have been in use there." There's no record of Darwin responding to the letter, and allegedly he did not believe that forces of natural selection could be perceived within human lifetimes. However, observations showed that the peppered moth population was turning black due to natural selection by bird predation, and subsequent simulations illustrated that this process was indeed fast enough to change the population within decades.